Aloha and welcome to the first video guide on Trainer X Hunter. Today I will be presenting you with my Dreadqueen Rathian build I use in Monster Hunter Stories 2. Now I must warn you that I've only played 5 PvP matches, so I can't give you any promises that I will live up to the meta in that game mode. Now Dreadqueen Rathian is my favorite monster in Monster Hunter Stories 2 and quite possibly my favorite monster in the entire franchise, with the cravat that the only other Monster Hunter game I've played up to this point has been Monster Hunter Rise, where I truly got introduced to the series. So the theme for this build is to remain true to Dreadqueen, and by that I mean that we are going to keep all of her signature moves / genes on her. Those being Noxious Poison XL, which gives Venom Queen, Noxious Poison L, which gives Toxic Sweep, and Fire Breath M, which gives Flame Blaster. In case you don't understand what I mean by signature moves / genes, I mean the 3 genes that always come on Dreadqueen when you hatch one. The problem this build has though is that those 3 signature genes / moves don't really fit together. One is a non-elemental speed type gene, one is a non-elemental technical type gene, and the other one is a fire element speed type gene. So you can only match up 2 of the 3 of them in one row to get either part of a non-elemental bonus or part of a speed bonus, but all 3 together won't give you any bonus at all. So I tried my best to come up with a build that utilized all 3 of these and still got me some decent bingos while being flexible at the same time. As you can see from the on-screen bingo list, I managed to secure 110% non-elemental bingo, 125% fire element bingo, 110% power bingo, 120% speed bingo, and 110% technical bingo. Now I can only guess how the math works in this game, but I would presume that my speed type fire element attacks still hit for a decent chunk, even with 150% bonus in fire or 150% bonus in speed, while the rest of my attacks still get a slight boost. If someone can tell me how the calculations work exactly, that would be awesome though. But now on to the genes. Starting in the top left, we have Venom Queen. Her first signature move coming from the Noxious Poison XL gene. This one deals heavy non-elemental damage to a single target and it has a high chance to inflict severe poison for 3 turns. At a cost of 31 kinship, this gene lends itself more towards PvE and only really beneficial in PvP if Dreadqueen initiates it on her own. There are of course better speed type non-elemental genes that could be used specifically in PvP, but none will be the signature move Venom Queen, and poison damage can really add up over time in both PvE and PvP. Next we have Toxic Sweep. Her second signature move coming from the Noxious Poison L gene. This is for all intents and purposes an AoE version of Venom Queen, with 2 small differences. The first and most important one is that it's a technical type attack and not a speed type attack. The second difference is that the poison it inflicts has a lower chance of happening, and it is a weaker type poison, doing less damage per tick than the one inflicted by Venom Queen. But you do get an AoE attack in exchange, so it's worth the exchange for just 11 kinship more, costing 42 total to use. Burning Tail. Coming from the Whip Gene XL, this move only recently dropped in the update with Hellblade Glavenus, bringing the total speed type fire element genes in the game to 4. Still a paltry amount that limits bringing out the full power of the Rathian clan, being speed type fire element monsters. I used to have the Tackle Gene XL from Basil Geese in this slot, but immediately replaced it for this one. For only 14 kinship, this move deals 14 medium fire damage to one enemy and has a high chance to inflict burn on a single target. This is definitely the best speed type fire gene in the game. Not a hard thing to achieve, but if you want a speed type fire move for any monster, this should be your go-to, especially for PvP. Burning Fang. This is the power type version to the previous move coming from Anjanath this time. It has a lower chance to inflict burn and it costs 2 kinship less, which for all intents and purposes doesn't make it any better or worse than Burning Tail. A great power type fire move for any fire monsters you have. Probably one of the best for PvP as well. Rainbow Gene. I use this gene to achieve the technical, power and speed type bingos. Without it I would have to give up possibly 2 of the 3 of them, but I would probably be able to get more out of speed if I chose so. Actually, if my goal wasn't to keep all 3 of Dreadqueen's signature attacks, I would have never considered using this gene, as I would have leaned more into boosting speed and firepower. Fireboost XL. This boosts your fire element by a significant amount. If you have a fire monster, you want this gene on it, or the equivalent one for your monster's element. It's a pity they are all power type genes, but I used it to help make the power bingo, so still a small win. Fire Breath. Not a Dreadqueen signature move, but it is the signature move of the Rathalos and Rathian line, so I'm happy to include it here. That and it is one of the only 4 speed type fire element genes in the game. The gene's name is Fire Breath S, and all it does is medium fire damage to a single enemy, no added effects. It only costs 10 though, so it is almost always available if you need to avoid an action Dreadqueen wants to make with a speed type attack. Arachnophobia. This might possibly be the most famous technical type attack in the game at this moment, as I've seen it recommended on tons of build guides for any monster needing a technical type attack. It costs 13 kinship, so again excellent for PvP, and it has a low chance of inflicting poison and or paralysis. I would say you get one of the 2 effects 33% of the time, and when you are lucky you get both. It's an amazing gene and it helps achieve the technical type bingo in this build due to one of Dreadqueen's signature moves being a technical type. You farm this from Shrouded Nerscylla, as it is one of her signature moves. Flame Blaster. The final gene on the list and Dreadqueen's last signature move. Coming from the Fire Breath M gene, this is a speed type AoE fire element attack, costing 22 kinship. Great AoE attack, and it has a low chance to inflict burn. There isn't much more to say about this one besides to remind you that it is one of the only 4 speed type fire attack genes in the game. So for any of the Rathian monsters, you probably will want this one. And that brings us to the end of the build. For a written guide or to see more of what Trainer X Hunter is about, feel free to visit trainerxhunter.com. And until next time, aloha.